Up till now, we have done basic differentiation. We know that differentiation actually just means the gradient of the tangent. How to differentiate? वो basic आपको I think we have gone through it in the first three worksheets. Okay. Now in this worksheet, it is saying find d square y upon dx square. Basically, we just said we'll double differentiate. But why is double differentiation important? मैं आपको ये बता देता हूँ. And then people can carry on क्योंकि अगले जो हम काम करें it will be related to double differentiation. देखो, what we know is that whenever we differentiate, we are trying to find the gradient of the tangent, right? What happens if the gradient of tangent is zero? What does it represent?
Flat graph.
Yeah, what are you saying?
Flat graph.
As Ahmed just said, graph will be flat or basic में कहूंगा जो line of the tangent will be horizontal. Meaning, देखो, if I make what do you mean by gradient zero? In O levels, you learned that the zero gradient actually means a horizontal line, right? I can make a horizontal line and this anywhere on this graph, and this horizontal line represents the gradient is zero. So when I talk about the gradient of the tangent is zero, it means I'm talking about this point. Okay? So this point over here. Or I can also make a graph like this over here. Okay? And if I'm saying the gradient is zero, the gradient will only be zero at this point, right? इसके अलावा wherever you make the tangent, it will not have a zero gradient. Mohammed, are you understanding? Uruj, Sama, Umar? So as you did in quadratics, basically, when we talk about a gradient of a tangent which is zero, it actually means the lowest or the highest point of the graph. Only at the lowest point it can be zero, or at the highest point it can be zero. Nowhere else on a curve can the gradient be zero. Because whenever you make a tangent, and you have made this tangent in no levels, right? The gradient, when you used to find the gradient of a curve at any particular point, you used to make a tangent like this. Just by looking at this graph or this graph, or I can make any graph, what you will observe is that only at this highest point or at this lowest point will this graph have a gradient equal to zero. And we call it the maximum or the minimum point. When we did quadratics, we referred to it as a turning point. We will be able to find this turning point through differentiation and through complete square root method that we did in the quadratics chapter. What this double differentiation helps us to do is, ये जो that we're doing right now is, it helps us to determine whether it was a highest point or the lowest point. वो कैसे होगा? That will be something we'll discuss after like 20-30 minutes once you have practiced some questions. Basically, it will be as simple as if the double differentiation that you have done is positive, it's a minimum point, or if it's negative, it's a maximum point. That will be it. Okay? But this is the purpose of doing this double differentiation, being able to figure out whether it's a minimum point or a maximum point. All right. Now, the method that we have done for differentiation remains exactly the same. Choose one of the questions from question 1 and 2. I will do one of these questions over here for you. So, Suman, you were not here for the last two classes. So, I will give you an option. Choose a question that you want me to help you differentiate. And I will do that over here. I will differentiate 2 times and that will be it. Part B. You have given me the easiest part, better. You could have given me F, I, C. Okay, I will just do two parts, one easy one and one difficult one. Dekho. So if in question part B, it is 5x cube minus 7x square plus 5. First, you will write dy by dx. That will become 5 3s are 15, x square minus 14x, right? And then when you differentiate it one more time, this will become 30x minus 14 only. Because x becomes 0. X to the power 0, basically. Yeah, 2 minus 1. The power decreases. I don't write 1, obviously. Normally, no one writes, right? So, मैं 1 obviously नहीं लिखूँ. Anyways, so this is a simpler one. And let's talk about a difficult one. Let's say part F. I have to differentiate it 2 times. Okay, so f is 15 upon cube root of 2x plus 1. Y is equals to 15 upon cube root of 2x plus 1. And we discussed this. This also means derivative. So this will mean double derivative, right? I hope there is no confusion with this. So first I will find the first derivative. And whenever we differentiate, before I begin the differentiation, so I have explained this, that will bring if the variable is in the denominator, we bring it in the numerator. This will become minus 1 by 3. It was positive 1 upon 3. It becomes. Now I will start the differentiation process. How do I differentiate? I will multiply this power by 15. This will become minus 5. I will decrease the power by 1. So this becomes minus 4 upon 3. And I also multiplied with the derivative of 2x plus 1, which is 2. I hope everyone remembers this, right? So this, देखो, in lesson 2 on the class on Friday, to lesson 2, if you check, we learned how to differentiate this. I'll just quickly tell you that if you have a bracket with a power given over here, wait, beta. So what you do is you first multiply this power over here, decrease the power by 1, and you also multiply it with the derivative of 2x plus 1. So 2x plus 1, when we differentiate, we get 2. So this will become minus 10 into 2x plus 1 to the power of minus 4 upon 3. And this is dy by dx. But because we are finding the second derivative as well, so we will differentiate this term again. So when I differentiate this term again, minus 4 upon 3 into minus 10 is how much? 40 upon 3. Plus 40 upon 3. 2x plus 1 remains as it is. This power decreases by 1, becomes minus 7 upon 3. And then I again multiplied with the derivative of 2x plus 1 over here. So ये 2 आ जाएगा. So this will become 80 upon 3 and 2x plus 1 to the power of minus 7 upon 3. Do not get confused if at the in the answers, this minus 7 upon 3 can also be written in this form. 3 to the power of 7. Right? Because I'll tell you what, if you bring it in the denominator, this will become 2x plus 1 to the power of plus 7 upon 3. Now 7 upon 3, this 3 is in the denominator, which means this is the root. So this is third root, so cube root, and then power 7. So it can be given like this, like this. You won't lose marks if you present your answer in any of these two forms. Clear? Mohammed, you're looking at a mobile phone. I hope you're clear. What are you looking at your mobile phone? What is so important? Okay. Okay. Umar, देखो, I'll just explain it again, beta. Do you remember how to differentiate these terms? I think, I don't know if you were there in the last class, but I've uploaded this lesson. This was worksheet number 2. Yes. This was the worksheet where we learned how to differentiate if you have powers given like this. Okay? It could be power 7, power 1 upon 3, power 1 upon 2, whatever it is. The method that we learned was, I've explained it over here. That was called the chain rule. We'll multiply the power, decrease the power by 1, and then multiply with the derivative of x plus 2, which in this case was 1. ठीक है? अब जैसे यहाँ पे सुभान ब्रैकेट में x square plus 4 था, इसका डेरिवेटिव 2x होता है, तो 2x से मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया. इसमें x square plus 4x था, you multiplied by 2x plus 4. x square plus 4x. How do you differentiate x square plus 4x? Beta, 2 multiplies over here becomes 2x plus 4. Yeah, same thing. And then you just multiply. So, Omar, if you look at this question that I've just done, beta, I've applied exactly the same thing. I differentiated it once, right? I differentiate kara, and then whatever I got for my answer, I differentiated it one more time. Omar, now tell me what part you did not understand. Or Anushu.
Sir, this F, the part F.
Part F, वो part F का कह रहा हूँ, F का कौन सा part, like what part of it you did not understand? Nothing at all.
Sir, this part on which We converted 15 into 5 minus 5.
Beta, 15 into 5 is because when you multiply minus 1 upon 3 into 15, what do you get? And again, but I'm not going to waste my time. Look, I'm really sorry for this, everyone, but I think I told everyone you have to complete did you complete every single question from this worksheet number 2, beta? If you haven't, beta, you will be facing problems with this. If you have, there should not be any issue. If you're still confused, how did I get 5? It is as simple as I just multiplied the power by 15. Right, Umar?
Yes, sir.
The power was minus 1 upon 3. Minus 1 upon 3 times 15 is minus 5. ठीक है? Okay, Subhan. Every single time, if the variable is in the denominator, because if you have a constant like this, let's say 15 upon 2 x square, then this is simple, 2 times 15, 30 upon 2x. If you have 15 upon x, then you will bring the x in yes, but every single time make sure your variable always comes up in the numerator, and then you start differentiating. Okay. So again, beta, I will just explain one more part before I stop. In part E of question 1, this is power 1 by 2. How do I differentiate? I multiply this power half over here. So this is half into 1. Decrease the power by 1. And then multiply it with the derivative of 4x minus 9, which will be 4. So 4 into half will become 2. So that's my first derivative. Now to find the second derivative, I will differentiate this term again. So minus half into 2 will become minus 1. Minus half minus 1 is minus 3 upon 2. And then 2x minus 9 derivative is 2. So this will become 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. And that's the final answer. That's it. Why is it 2x and not 4x? Where, beta? Yeah, my bad. Human mistake. Human mistake, everyone. Somehow, at least you are attentive enough to remember. Acha, beta, listen, one very important thing, beta, and I'm being very serious about it. Dekho, while I'm teaching, sometimes I do these things, and students, because they tend to think I'm the teacher over here, he knows what he's doing. Half the time, beta, I'm trying to explain stuff, or usme I miss out on these signs, on these numbers, I mix them up. As soon as you get confused with why have you done it, please tell me straight away, sir, why have you put a 4 over there? Why have you put a 2 instead of 4? I will explain, okay? Because most of the times it is my error. So thank you so much for pointing it out right now. Thank you. Okay, so carry on with question 1, 2. Do some of the questions right now, and then we'll go on to the next worksheet in the last 15 minutes. Okay, so you have 15 minutes to practice these questions, and then we'll go on to the next worksheet. It is divided by square root of x, right? So what you will do is every single time you will break it up. This is basic math, the LCM maths. Okay, you'll break it up like this. So x divided by square root of x. Subhan, what will be remaining when you? Yes. So it will be 5x power half, right? Because this is 1 and this is half. And this will be 4x power minus half. Ahmed, it is clear up till now?
जी sir.
What? Why?
जी sir.
No, 1 minus half is half, no? This is power 1 and this is half. Okay. So now dy by dx, the first dy by dx will be half into 5 is 5 upon 2, x power minus half. Then minus half into minus 4 will become plus 2x power minus 3 by 2, right? Half minus 1 is minus 3 by 2. So that's the first derivative. And then you differentiate it again. Well, the next step is straightforward. Minus half into 5 upon 2 will be minus 5 upon 4. And minus 3 upon 2 into 2 will be into 2 minus 3. Minus 3x and power minus 1 is what? Minus 3 upon 2 minus 1. Minus 5 by 2. Ahmed, clear?
जी सर.
That's it. Acha, and Mohammed, again, for everyone, even if you find it easy, your calculations with these powers should be very quick. You cannot waste time in the calculator putting minus 3 upon 2, minus 1. All of these should be mental eventually. After you have done enough practice, you should not be able to think, okay, what is minus 3 upon 2 minus 1? 2a. Sama, are you sure you don't understand? Because I'm pretty sure you understand. You will just write it as 5x power minus 2 minus 3 upon 2x power minus 5, right? And then you differentiate like you normally do, or no? Yeah, so if you get a wrong answer, which means you try it again. I will solve it on the board, obviously, but whenever you get a wrong answer, try it again. But I'll just do it. So minus 2 times 5 is minus 10. This is 2a. Minus 10 x power minus 3 minus plus 15 upon 2 x power minus 6. And then I differentiate it again. That becomes 30 x power minus 4. And this will become 90 upon 2. So minus 45 x power minus 7. Got it now? Lovely. First, you find dy by dx. So that will be, this is 4x power half, right? So this will become half into 4 is 2 x power minus half. And then the double derivative will be minus half into 2 is minus 1 x power minus 3 by 2. Now it is saying 4x square multiplied by the double derivative, which is minus x power minus 3 upon 2 plus 4x multiplied by dy by dx. Dy by dx is power minus half. Let's simplify. So this will become minus 4 x 2 in plus minus 3 upon 2 is how much? 2 minus 3 upon 2 is minus half, no, plus half. Okay, so this will become plus half. I added these two powers, right? When they're multiplying. So when I add the powers, this will become 4 minus 3, 1 upon 2. Yeah. And this will become 4 times 2 is 8 x to the power 1 minus half is half, right? 8x power half. Now it is saying show that it is equals to y. How can I show it equals to y? What is y? Acha, what can I take common from over here? Arey, एक मिनट so this will be minus 4 plus 8 is what? 4. 4x power half. We got it, right? Minus 4 plus 8 because the powers are same. I can simply add the numbers. And that's it. That's all you had to prove. Okay. Okay. Uh, for the for everyone else, please look at this in this worksheet. There is a revision exercise in the end. I will recommend that you do all of these questions because some of them are past paper questions anyways. Okay? There are 14, 15 questions. I will just move forward with what we have to do today. Obviously, आज बहुत कुछ कर लिया, but still. We'll be doing increasing, decreasing function and then stationary points. Okay? When I talk about an increasing function, it just means in simple terms that the dy dx or the gradient is positive or it's greater than 0. And when I talk about a decreasing function, the dy dx is less than 0. Okay? So that's the first thing you have to know about increasing and decreasing function. Now, I'll just explain one question. Find the set of values of x for which each of the following is increasing. Okay? So in this, all you have to do is कैसे बताऊं मैं आपको? Can you factorize it? Can you factorize this question? Okay, tell me what is the answer when you factorize it. What are the two values of x that you get when you factorize this? I think calculator, you'll have to use the calculator for this. Can someone quickly use a calculator tell me what are the एक मिस्टेक कर दी है. नहीं नहीं, मैं आपको मिस्टेक मिली है. एवरीवन, आई विल जस्ट टेल यू अ सिंपल वे टू डू इट. देखो, and this is something important to understand, so I will want your focus. Let me make a curve over here like this. ठीक है? Can I say, let's say this is point O, this is point A over here, and then this is point B. Can I say from O to A, whatever tangent I make, it will have a negative gradient, right? And so let's say if I make a tangent over here like this, any tangent I make on the from O to A, that will have a negative gradient. And if I make a tangent from A to B, it will always have a positive gradient. How do I know when does a gradient shift from negative to positive? How can I figure that out? How can I figure the point at which a gradient changes from negative to positive? That is through finding where the gradient is zero. If I know the exact point at which the gradient is zero, देखो, at this point A, if I make a tangent over here, will this have a gradient of zero? Yes, it will, right? It will have a gradient of zero. I know from point A onwards, so let's say x is greater than A, it's an increasing function. And x less than A, it's a decreasing function. Clear? We call this point a turning point, or as we learned it in quadratics, it is the point where a curve changes its nature. So the nature before A was it was decreasing in nature. Point A onwards, it's increasing in nature, right? How do I find out the point A? So let's say the equation of the curve was y is equals to x square minus 8x plus 2. I will find the dy by dx, that is 2x minus 8. At this point A, what is the gradient? 0. So I will put dy dx equals to 0. What will be the value of x? 4. So can I say when x is greater than 4, it's an increasing function, right? What you have to make sure is that this is the lowest point. I mean, if the curve was like this, it will be the other way around. Okay, and I'll just show you an example over here. Acha, how do you know if it has a, matlab, just by looking at the equation, how do you know that the curve will be, if it's a quadratic function, it will be a low minimum point or a maximum point? X square. If x square is negative, it will have a maximum point, right? So let's say if the equation was minus x square plus 8x minus 3, whatever it is, you will find the dy by dx and you will get minus 2x plus 8. Now, just by looking at the minus sign, I know the curve will be like this, right? Now, from point O till A, is the graph increasing or decreasing? It's increasing. I mean, you can just see it, the graph is rising up, right? So when you find the value of x, this will be 4. But in this case, the graph is increasing when x is less than 4. And if I go forward, like if I go greater than 4, because this point is 4, the graph starts to decrease. So the one thing that you should know is whether from point, the lowest point or the highest point, क्या बोलना था मुझे, whether the graph is increasing or decreasing, right? हाँ, 4 ही होगा, इसमें भी 4 ही आएगा. क्यों होगा माइनस, बताओ बेटा. यू ब्रिंग, देखो, you put dy dx equals to 0, you bring 2x on this side. Maybe मैंने ऊपर मिस्टेक कर दी होगी, right? Maybe over here I meant, no, इधर -8 था ना, right? So it was all the, it is all the same. I'm saying for the same value of x, you can have increasing and decreasing in different directions. ठीक है, एक तो ये हो गया. We also call this point, because this was the main thing, we call this turning point the stationary point. A stationary point is any point on the curve where your gradient or the dy dx becomes equals to 0. What are you staring at in the mobile phone? There's a Mohammed. Or be calm. Anyways, so a stationary point is any point on the curve where the dy dx is 0. Just to give you an understanding, look, and I hope it will not be too much for one day, but I will explain question number 1a. The question says find the coordinates of the stationary point. The first thing you will do in part A will be you will find dy by dx, 2x minus 4. You will put dy dx equals to 0 and x will be is equals to 2. When x is 2, what is the value of y? Y, what will be y? 2 to the 4, 4 minus 8 minus 4, 4, right? These are the coordinates of the stationary point. Why? Because at this point, the dy dx was 0. That's the first bit. The second bit is determine the nature. When it says determine the nature, that means you have to know, okay, whether it was maximum or minimum. What did I tell you 10 minutes earlier? You will differentiate it again. When I differentiate the dy dx again, 2x, this will become 2, right? Because this is positive, this will be a minimum point. So I will summarize it over here, and I will summarize it by doing one last question over here on the board. That if your double derivative is greater than 0, it is a minimum point. If your double derivative is less than 0, it's a maximum point. And one question where you might get confused is, till note kar lo, then I will explain before I end the class. Noted? With thanks. Okay. Part C, x cube minus 12x plus 6. Do this question with me and then we'll end the class. X cube minus 12x plus 6. So the first step is finding by the dy by dx. That will become 3x square minus 12, right? Okay. When you when you put dy dx equals to 0, you will get 3x square minus 12. When you factorize it, you will get x square minus 4. I will not explain how I got this. I'm expecting everyone to know this. So the two values of x are 2 and minus 2. How do I know which one of these will give me a maximum or a minimum point? I will differentiate my dy dx one more time. I will get 6x, right? Now in this, you will first put x equals to 2. I will get 12, which means when x is equals to, this will be a minimum point greater than 0. And in the same dy by dx, when I put x equals to minus 2, I will get a negative answer. It is less than 0. It means it will be a maximum point. I haven't written down the y values. You people can figure out the y value directly from the equation. So I'm not wasting time on finding out the y value. How to determine the nature? Differentiating it again and putting in the x value if needed. If it's positive, minimum. If it's negative, maximum. And we are very near the end of this chapter. Okay. One last thing will be this application where we will study rate of change, and basically we'll be given different type of figures, and we'll be finding maximum minimum values for area, volume, blah blah blah. But that's for the next couple of classes. Till the next class, this differentiation 2 worksheet, I'm sending it right now. The first 2 bits of it, the one is increasing and decreasing function, and the second bit is stationary points. Make sure you try as many questions from this, because we will be using everything that you have learned up till now in the next classes. We will be doing past paper questions. Thank you.